and welcome to their Chit Chats. Decided to ask one of my friends to join me in today's video. So my special guest is Bubz. And today we are going to do adulting with Bubz and Nen. So first question for you. What is the difference between adulting at home and adulting abroad?
There's more freedom.
In what way? Like, what do you mean by there's more freedom?
I can go to different places without asking permission from my parents.
Okay.
I
So
can
that is.
buy food. You know, like, but I become more independent. But I think that's it. And yeah, I still prefer to live abroad, like as of now.
There's another question. What are the challenges that you've experienced living abroad on your own?
Oh, every time I got sick, there's no one who's taking care of me. So I have to do it on my own. I have to recover on my own. I have to watch YouTube videos or ask her about natural remedies.
Go, natural remedies. Yeah.
And
So-
it's effective.
So yeah.
And of course, sometimes if you need someone to talk during, meltdown. So it's like there's no one to talk, and like usually I just call her, or my mom to tell everything. But it's really different if you have someone to cry on to.
You have someone with you.
Yeah, someone with you physically.
Yeah, so it's actually the human support. Yeah, my biggest challenge living abroad before was dealing with loneliness. I mean, I feel that when you went abroad and when you lived abroad for the past 2 years, you're so excited to do so, and you like the idea of being independent. For me, when I went abroad back in 2014, I was also excited to be independent. However, I wasn't prepared to deal with the loneliness. I was not living on my own because I was living with my brother and his wife. However, they also had a life of their own, and most of the time I was on my own. And the problem, I'm a talkative person. I think you know that, right? I love talking, and loneliness for me came with not having anybody to talk to. And the biggest reason for not having anyone to talk to is the language barrier. It was so difficult to communicate with them in English, and I didn't really have friends or my peers who are always available because we had different schedules. So yeah, that was my struggle living abroad and adulting, navigating the world of adulting on your own and having to deal with loneliness. But living abroad, as you have experienced, it's not just all sadness and loneliness. It also has its perks. So tell me, what are the things that you enjoy doing abroad on your own?
Specifically in Jakarta, the food there is really cheaper.
Yeah.
Cheaper. Traveling also in different tourist spots is really cheaper. I was able to travel in Bali, so it's quite good as well because I really love to challenge myself. I challenge myself to learn how to speak Bahasa Indonesia.
Good for you.
Yes, and I was able to communicate to the vendors, Grab drivers on my own. And it makes you more, independent. Like, even though without your Indonesian friends, you can buy and you can travel on your own. So I think that's another knowledge. So I think it's one of the perks.
One of the perks. Me, the perks of living abroad is honestly the salary.
I forgot.
Right? I mean,
Well, on the first place, that's what I came for.
Yeah, that's. I mean, let's be honest. The reason why people want to work abroad is for them to provide, not just for themselves but for their families better, and the opportunities. And for me, that was one of the perks. You had more money, so to speak, because you're earning better than what you earned, working here in the Philippines. So my biggest enjoyment while I was living abroad was actually going shopping. it fed my shopaholic self. So I love shopping, and aside from that, I would agree with you, traveling. You know, the opportunities you get when you are abroad, it's easier for you to go from one country to another, especially when the excuse is a visa run. Right, but I like where you go for your visa run. You went to Singapore. For me, for my visa runs, I went to Cambodia and Laos. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed Laos, but Singapore. I mean, who goes to Singapore for visa runs?
I can go to Singapore every year, like at least twice a year.
I only went there once. Okay, so tell me what was the best place that you visited? The most memorable, your most favorite place?
Yeah, I think it's like I said, Bali. There were my Asian friends. If you're a foreigner, it's obviously expensive because you know the people will take advantage. But if you're with local people, it's an advantage because they can just communicate like in their own language, so they can bargain. I was able also to drive in Bali for the first time, but it's like
Right-hand drive.
yeah, right-hand drive, and also I was able to go to beautiful places, of course. And yeah, I think it's a very fun experience because I have also to learn how to budget.
Yeah.
I was able also to organize trips in some ways, like our itinerary. So yeah, it was fun, and it was not a social trip. It's more of not really backpacking, but it's more of like
Practical and budget.
practical.
Yeah.
Practical, but still we're not deprived from good places. Something like that. Bali is my favorite. You should come there. I was supposed to come in there.
Yeah, we were supposed to go. However, plans changed. We were this close to booking. No, I did not. No, I did not. I went to Bacolod,
Oh, in
darling.
Bacol. Wow.
I went. Okay, let's not. Yes and no. Sorry. Yeah, I think you know. Yeah, we know the story. So anyway, so let's talk about adulting when it comes to finances. I mean, how do you budget? Let's talk about finances.
For me, actually, because living in Jakarta, the salary is quite bigger compared
Here.
here in Iloilo. So I was quite, you know, like, ooh, I can shop, I can go to places. But at the end of the day, I always ask myself, why did you came here in the first place? So, yeah, I came here to save money for my future studies. So as much as possible, I have to control myself, not to shop too much. But the thing also is I'm getting bigger, so I have to buy new clothes. I decided to open my own bank account here, and I've told I will send money monthly. You have to put it on my bank account, so at least before I go home, I already have some savings. For my food, I don't have any problems because it is already provided by my school. No transportation. I think the only thing is when every time I go out with my friends, I'm out with my friends every weekend. That's where I get tempted a lot, like eating out. And so like I can say that I was able to save enough for my studies.
Okay.
I was able also to teach myself how to
Budget.
really be
Yeah.
okay.
Practical.
Yeah, practical. How to control myself, not to buy the things that I want, but only the things that I need.
For my case, the difference when it comes to finances between living abroad and living here. Living here, sometimes you rely on the thought that you have a home, you're not really spending so much, you're not renting. So coming home, I was spending a lot because I was banking on my reality that, you know, I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay rent. I don't really have to take taxi or ride public, you know, transportation system. Yeah, because I was living with my brother and my sister-in-law. I give my share. Also with groceries. It's basically the same here at home. I pay for the electric bill, for the gas, for the tank, and
I don't.
and all. But for me, I think I'm spending more here. When I was living abroad, I was shopping a lot as well, but I was more cautious and conscious about how much I'm spending because, I mean, yes, I do live with my brother, but sometimes it's embarrassing when you run out of money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that part, and you have to borrow. So I only borrowed once from him. I was more conscious of how much I should budget, how much I should be spending because, you know, you have to look after yourself in a way. So now, what would you suggest to someone who's planning to work abroad or is looking into going that direction? What advice would you give someone?
First, you always have to think what's the reason or what's really your purpose of going abroad. You already have to know if you're saving for what. Like, you want to invest to buy a car, to support your family, to finish your house or something. So you should have a goal. Then after that, when you arrive in country, you also have to ask some locals on how to budget. Because that's what I've learned. I just spend and spend. I don't know that it's too expensive already. And you have to know the currency. The currency. You have to know about it, and as much as possible, you also have to learn their language. Yes. Or before you go there, you already have at least some vocabulary and what else? All your finances there.
So you have to take note of everything, all your expenses.
Every time you shop, you also have to put all your the things that you want to buy. I think that's all.
For me, if you're planning to work abroad, the first thing that you have to do is to really do your research.
What?
You have to do your research on the country where you're going to. It's not just, okay, I'm just applying, I'm sending my resume. I mean, you do have to do your research. You have to check where your location will be so that you would know what to expect, what to bring. At the same time, we have this opinion that working abroad is all glitz and glamour and fancy roses, right? That's also true in some way, but reality is you will be met with a lot of disappointments, and at the same time you will be dealing with a lot of loneliness. So before you plan to go abroad, don't just think of, it's gonna be awesome, I will be on my own, I'll get to travel, I'll get to earn a lot. But at the same time, you have to prepare yourself. You really have to steel your heart because it's not going to be easy. It's not all roses all the time. It has thorns, and it gets really painful as well. And one thing that I've experienced living abroad is I was discriminated because I wasn't white. So there was one thing that, if you're, I'll just talk to teachers. If you are a teacher and you're planning to work abroad, especially in a country that prefers, native English speakers, you do have to steel your heart because you will be rejected many times. So, just know where you're going, prepare for that, and at the same time, you should have a strong mindset, and you have to prepare yourself because it's not going to be smooth sailing all the time. But the experience that you get is, I feel, worth it as well, right? You will grow and you will enjoy. And well, I'm just glad she's back. As much as I'm glad that she was able to experience the world, I'm glad she's home. So, yay! So anyway, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Stay tuned for more Bubz and then videos coming your way.
And hopefully Sam will join.
Yes, and one with Sam as well. Sam. Or maybe, let's hope, one day we can do a trio video. So I hope you'll learn something from our adulting.
Adulting 101.
Leaving abroad version. So I hope that whatever decision you're making, you have a strong resolve to stand by it. So please continue being naturally real and wholesome. See you next time. Bye! Bye-bye!
And to all of my little friends, I'm already here.
Cheers! Bye!